Guys, welcome. I'm joined here by Mr. Yasin and Mr. IllTV, who are two veteran Blade and Soul players. This is the second time I'm doing this intro, so I feel a little bit awkward since we are doing this live on Twitch. But yeah, today we got news that Blade and Soul Neo, I shouldn't say classic, they removed the classic. Blade and Soul Neo is launching February 25th. That is very soon, guys. It's next month, less than a month away. And a lot of people are wondering, well, first of all, a lot of people are wondering what the fuck this game is, and a lot of people are wondering if this game is worth playing. The skinny is this. Blade and Soul Neo is essentially a remastered version of the classic Blade and Soul. Better graphics, but some core differences. However, at its heart, it is still the same game, and today I'm going to be talking to two experienced Blade and Soul players, get their opinions on whether or not this game is worth your time. It is a free-to-play game. There is no early access, despite having founder packs. You can check out. I'll link the pre-registration. I will link the pre-registration link in the description below for those of you who are watching on YouTube. Anyways, I'm joined here by Yasin and IllTV. These guys have been playing Blade and Soul for a very long time, both retail and Neo, because Neo has been around for almost a year in China, and it's been around for well, Ill just told me this before this intro, but about 106 days in Korea. I'm personally playing on KR right now, trying to hit the end game. I'm going to be a little bit more motivated to hit that end game now that the launch date has been announced. But we are going to be going through, I guess, all the details. Hopefully, all the details that you're wanting to hear when it comes to Neo. So let's do this one more time. Ill, I'm so sorry. You were explaining before. Is this game worth playing? Is it a scam? Is it going to die immediately? Are you excited about it? Is this shit worth playing or not, man?
I would say it is worth for anyone to try it for at least like a week, give it a go. But I would say the combat in this is something that you can very much get behind. It is like picking up an addiction to like crack. I always say this. As soon as you get sort of immersed in Blade and Soul, combat systems in other games don't really compare. Obviously, I'm incredibly biased.
Okay.
But the issue is with playing BNS is that you have to deal with NCSoft, who have sort of not really had a great track record with managing Blade and Soul. They tend to they tend to choose the worst possible option at any point. In terms of, in the original Blade and Soul, all the pay-to-win stuff, sort of, in essence, killing the game with skill patches that simplified the game to the point where there's no skill expression.
Okay.
But overall, I would say in terms of playing Neo, give it a go. I think anyone that's interested or slightly interested, they should give it a go. And yeah, it's just worth a try, but keep your expectations low purely because it's NCSoft. But okay. I do have faith in NC America. Just as to what they can actually do, I don't know.
That's interesting you say I have faith in NC America. I want to hear your thoughts, Yasin, here in a sec, but to just kind of piggyback off of that, I've been told from people even within the company, whom I will not name, so this is just a bro trust me angle. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I've been told that NC America, the global branch, actually does try to make good changes that the Western / global players want, but they haven't been able to make those changes because they just get essentially blocked, right? And just overridden by NCSoft. Now, there's been a lot of structural changes to the company. We have JJ that's also now the new president. She did a fantastic job transforming or helped transforming BDO into what it is today, taking it from a grossly pay-to-win MMO, and now it's, again, for a Korean MMO that has built-in pay-to-win in it. It is certainly one of the lesser pay-to-win games for a Korean MMO. She's definitely done a better job, right? When it comes to she definitely did improve it. She's at the helm now with NC America, as far as I understand. Is there, because you guys have been kind of keeping tabs with this whole NCSoft thing, right? Is there Is there a little bit of hope at the end of the tunnel here, or is this pretty much it? Like, nah, even this new team has been, it's kind of a doomed angle. What would you say?
Honestly, I think the team they got now, especially the community side of the NC America, is not something I've seen before. Honestly, I've seen previous community managers try to have a good
Uh-huh.
impact on the game,
One
but
second. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just reading chat here. Audio isn't matching up. Is my audio not matching up everyone's, or is it just Yasin? I just need that feedback because my stream gets desynced at times for whatever reason because of my cloud service. I just need some confirmation there because it will come out desynced on the recorded. Looks like just me. Oh, I am desynced. Okay, let me fix this. Okay. All right, we should be good now. We should be good. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
no problem, no problem. So yeah, I've seen the current community manager. His name is Ronan. I've never seen a community manager try to engage with the community as much as he did. He even approached some of the old veterans to try learn about the past, and I've never seen such a good community team at NC West or America. No, I have pretty good faith in what they can do. But yeah, the problem is, as you said before, NCSoft is blocking whatever NC America is kind of suggesting.
Mm.
Who knows with the different structure in the company now if it's possible or not. I have good hope though.
So, like Throne and Liberty, didn't get off to a great start because of the reputation NCSoft had. However, certainly with the global audience that's still playing, they've been doing pretty well. Now, obviously, they have AGS that has been really at the helm, pushing these changes, making the game even less pay to win than it was in Korea. And there isn't anyone that's currently actively playing the game that's complaining about the pay to win. Do you think that is NCSoft maybe turning a new chapter here? Do you think there's a little bit of hope and BNS won't be doomed by predatory monetization? What do you guys think?
I think actually Throne and Liberty's existence had such a good impact on Neo because they basically copied their system with Lucent.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that's a very good way. They kind of like it counters kind of the RMT that was going on in Blade and Soul. It was a very big thing
Hmm.
in the original. Like they removed trading. Gold is basically the Solent of Neo. It has a complete different use case right now. I think it's pretty. I think it's as good as it gets.
Right. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Yasin here, he's you're not. Are you a streamer? Do you make content?
Yeah, I mean, I stream if Blade and Soul's doing good, but
Okay.
I used to be an ex esports player for in Blade and Soul.
Okay.
I played in the most recent World Championship, and other than that, I just play PvP, and I'm known to be one of the top PvP players.
Okay, great. So obviously an extensive background in Blade and Soul. The reason why I wanted to get Yasin in, people are asking how recent. The reason why I wanted to get Yasin in this call and talk to him as well as Ill is because Ill has a very big background in BNS, right? But Yasin, this guy I played with on the KR servers in Throne Liberty. Like this guy's like a day one KR vet, and he's played the global version, and he's been a juicer, very good player, and he obviously has a very good understanding of Throne and Liberty and Blade and Soul. I don't know. I'm trying to learn that's why I'm playing on the KR version. That Blade and Soul Neo that is, but I'm still trying to get a better feel for how the monetization really feels. What the end game loop is really like. So Yasin, you are in an interesting position because you can actually give us a more, I feel like a more accurate comparison to just how pay to win we should expect Blade and Soul Neo to be. Right? Like
Right.
you can compare, you can give us a legitimate comparison to Throne because you know Throne so very well. You were mentioning it earlier in my chat. Can you maybe
Yeah, I
share
can
those
come.
thoughts again and give us a little bit more detail?
Yeah. So like the difference. Okay. So in Throne and Liberty, it's called Lucent. In BNS Neo, it's called Ncoin, the paid currency. So in Lucent, the what I've heard from from my experience and from what I've heard from the community is that Lucent is very concentrated in the tryhard players in TL, right? The top guilds, the one that own everything, they get the highest ranks and stuff. Like most of the Lucent is concentrated in that player base. The reason why
Can
I
you
think
can you
Neo
can
is
you explain that a little bit? What do you mean like the Lucent is? Because like a free to play player who's not in that, they could easily just farm Lucent themselves as well, right? Like they could just do
right.
dungeons, get traits, and just farm that Lucent.
Right. The difference in Neo and TL in that, I think the time to get to that level to really farm efficiently is way different in Neo than in TL. In
Okay.
TL, you need gear. In TL, you probably need groups to run dungeons. The difference in Neo is, at least in KR, I'm basing everything off of KR. Like we don't know what we'll get in the
Right.
West,
Sure.
but I'm just basing it off of KR. Dungeons weren't the number one income of Ncoin
Okay.
of the Lucent.
Ncoin
Uh,
for just for reference, Ncoin equals Lucent. The monetization scheme in regards to like the currency that you must purchase, guys, it's exactly the same as Throne. Lucent and how Lucent works is an NC coin, right? Or Ncoin or Ncoin? Ncoin.
Ncoin.
Okay.
Yeah, Endcoin. Endcoin's a lot easier to say.
Ncoin.
So the number one income of Ncoin in Neo was field bosses, and you also have a stamina system. When you do a dungeon, the stamina gets drained. Um, Field bosses also drain this, but it's like 1 out of 100 that you have in total.
Mm.
Dungeons, they consume about 10, so you can do 10 dungeon runs and try to be lucky to get gear. It wasn't effective. So basically, most of the end game was farming field bosses, selling the drops that you get from the field bosses. Anyone can do this, by the way. That's what I'm saying. The difference in Neo and TL was in Neo is way easier. You just go to the field boss. It's just an open world. You can just hit max level cap, go there and hit it once. There's a damage threshold, but it's doable. If you hit the damage threshold, you'll get the loot and you just sell it on the market. That's how
Guaranteed
easy it
loot?
is. Yeah, it's guaranteed loot.
Yeah, as long
Guaranteed
as
loot.
you do enough damage, and it's only one vitality per field boss.
Yeah, so you can do 100
In
bosses.
comparison to like 10 or 15 from a dungeon, so it's way better, way better.
Yeah. I'm
Wait,
pretty
so
sure
wait,
most of us bought their gear.
does that mean that the end game loot for Neo is just you don't even do dungeons? Dungeons aren't even worth doing. You're just going to be doing field bosses all day.
You'd want to do dungeons just to get your like daily challenge on them. You also need
Okay.
dungeon runs for card collections and stuff like that.
Okay.
Gold as
But
well. Gold
if
is
you
a big
purely
income.
want Endcoin, just farming field bosses non-stop is probably your way to go.
Gotcha for farming Ncoin. Okay, so essentially, just so that I understand, Yasin, what you're saying is in Throne and Liberty, there's a way to make Lucent. Obviously, you do dungeons and stuff like this, but the big juiced gear, especially early on, lies with like world bosses and field bosses, which are dominated, which are not going to be dominated because like in peace anyone can get it, but because conflict bosses are PvP and they have a higher chance of dropping, you have a higher chance of getting these this loot because if you are in a more competitive guild that's kind of running the server, you are going to be making either more Lucent or getting geared faster is essentially what you're trying to say, right? Because I know you understand the
Yeah.
throne gearing system, right?
Yeah.
Versus in BNS, it's like there is no restriction, there is no gatekeeping, there is no like barrier to entry. It's just straight up field bosses
Everyone
are
can just
there.
go.
If
Yeah.
you want Endcoin, aka Lucent, you could
go.
just go in there, farm these bosses, and you're good.
Yeah, if I can compare it to getting like a world boss weapon in TL, it's very difficult to get that if you're not in a big guild, right?
Sure.
Let's compare it like the field bosses to the world bosses in TL. The
Okay.
field bosses, anyone can go. They farm the end coin. They buy the best gear off of the market. It's possible. It's really possible, and it's affordable. Even farming Lucent without doing the world boss, like farming Lucent permanently and trying to buy the world boss weapon is almost like is not like I wouldn't say it's possible. I don't say it's really realistic for a normal player. to farm Lucent even in a normal way in Throne of Liberty and buy a world boss weapon. You get it from drops, right? So that's the biggest difference. You can get very, very high gear being completely free to play, just farming field bosses in Neo. That's why I think the free to play is much better.
Gotcha. And when you're saying that, just to clarify, because of course, like people that watch this on YouTube, they're always going to take your word at face value, right? When you say that it's not like most people, most free to play players, most players are not going to be getting the field boss weapon. What you mean is they're not going to be getting like the Adentices early on or in a reasonable time. They're going to be getting it way later. Like right now, it's now 5K, so you can get it, but like fucking tier 2 is around the corner. That's what you mean, right? Because some people are going to hear that and be like, "What are you talking about? Adentis is like 5K in the market right now." You know what I mean? So, yeah, I get that. All right, so monetization. So maybe you can walk us through this here, give you a chance to speak. But I understand the gearing process, or excuse me, I understand the farming Lucent / currency / endcoin process. Could you maybe explain what it would require to actually max out your gear? Because Throne and Liberty, the strongest argument against the objectively pay to win system that is the Lucent system, the strongest argument against that is that, yes, you can pay to win, but there is a hard cap to gear, and free-to-play players will hit that cap in a reasonable amount of time, and it doesn't take very long. Only a couple of months, to be perfectly honest. Arc bosses is another thing. We can talk about that later, but, you know, when it comes to actually your actual power and your gear, your CP, like you can hit that max within a reasonable amount of time. Is that the case for BNS Neo, or is it like you can get close maybe within 5%, but you're never really going to be capped power like you would in Throne?
So I believe that, I mean, both me and Yuki did this when we played. I swiped a bit, but I didn't do much. I don't think Yuki did much either. But I believe as a free-to-play player, which we mostly were, you could get to a sort of viable level, or at least like 80% of the way there, 80-90% of the way there, to sort of like the gear cap. The remaining 10% is like extra AP or card collections from like the AP from insignias is going to take you like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Card collections will genuinely take you over 6 months.
Are those pay to win? Can you pay to win those?
Not. I mean, insignias. I suppose you could, because they were on market on KR. But the amount that you'd have to pay to win it is a little bit. I mean, even if you're a massive whale, it wouldn't be worth. As for card collections, I suppose you could pay to win that, but again, it wouldn't be worth to pay to win it because.
So it's so expensive to the point where it's not paid. It's not practical.
So, put it this way: what you're looking for from Kari is a field boss, which most people, if they want to try hard, will be farming for months. When you kill the actual boss, it has a let's say 1% chance of dropping its card. And it also drops essence, which you can spin the wheel. The wheel also has a chance of dropping the card, but the drop chance from the wheel is like 0.2%, something like that. So realistically, if you wanted to pay to win it, you could buy like an absolute ton of essence and spin the wheel, but you'd have like such a low chance of getting this card that the amount of money that you'd been spending would just like not be worth.
The essence he's mentioning, by the way, that's the main income of endcoin.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Field bosses. I just want to put that in there. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So sorry, were you? Was there anything more there?
Oh no, I just wanted to put that out there, just because people don't know what essences are. Probably.
Yeah. So it sounds like this is like similar to BDO in the sense, I saw someone write it in chat and I thought the same thing. Would you say that's fair? Where it's because BDO you can swipe for everything, but like you're swiping for a very low percentage that just isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, but should you? Probably not. Like you
So
could swipe some
those
kids.
cards and these end game items that you just mentioned right here that take the long term progression items. What do you need to purchase to pay to win those? They are purchased by Endcoin.
Yeah,
Oh.
off the market.
Okay. Which you again can farm easily by just doing the world bosses if you are free to play.
Yeah.
Up to 100 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can so with these field bosses, sometimes you get an enhanced version, which will drop a lot more. So that's also just a bonus. You don't know how much you'll get per 100
Right.
vitality. Sometimes you get loads and loads and loads.
Wait, how much? Oh, okay. So you don't know how much NC and coin you'll get. How long does it use? You do? How much N coin would you get per boss? I'm just wondering if you can measure
per
this.
boss is per boss. If you have okay, so what he said, like if you kill a boss, you have a chance there will be like a lightning boss,
Yeah.
which spawns after 1 minute. It's an enhanced boss with enhanced loot.
Okay.
A normal boss will give you one fragment, one essence. This one essence back at release was in between like 15 to 30 N coin.
Okay.
15 to 30 N coin. I think it's the same measure.
How much is like? What would be like? Would you be able to give kind of a lucid comparison to how much value that amount of N coin is?
I can kind of put it like this. If you want a pretty good, not even pretty good, it's almost best in slot accessory at the start of the game where everything's kind of expensive, you can spend around 1K to 1.5K for a good accessory. Might even
N-coin.
cheaper. Sometimes you can snap N-coin.
Okay.
And farming the field boss, you can farm around 1 or 2K N-coin per hour. That's those were my numbers.
Wow, 1 to 2K N coin per hour.
I'm pretty sure the
Mhm.
monetary value of it is similar to Lucent. So imagine you're
Okay.
farming like 2K Lucent an hour. It's very
Okay. So I mean 2K Lucent an hour is kind of insane. Like
yeah, it is insane.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying why the pay to win in Neo is so much less. Because believe me, if you're free to play and you farm the boss like a couple hours,
So you're saying
you'll have nice game.
So you're saying in BNS you can it's like you can realistically farm 2K Lucent per hour, like legitimately, like just not going through this alt, feeding system. It's just like straight up. You go out there, you farm. It's gonna be like, okay, that's wow. I wanted to ask you a follow up to that. Oh, how long does it take you to get through your entire vitality, all your vitality, like 100 vitality, right, per day?
Doing dungeons or doing field bosses? It depends.
I guess of field bosses. Sorry.
Okay.
You know better than me on this one because I didn't do it much.
I didn't watch more for a living.
Ill is just used to swiping his way. This pay to win scum.
I didn't mind doing that too much. I was alright with that.
So the most efficient way of farming the field bosses are grouping up with 6 people, and obviously there are a lot of channels, right? You have maybe like 20 channels, maybe even 30 if there's a lot. You have every one of these people check these channels, and when a boss spawns, there's a timer. There's a website for a timer. You click on the boss spawn timer, and every time you kill it, it takes like five minutes for it to respawn, right? So this way you would calculate when they would spawn. This was the most efficient way to farming. Listen, Anchor, sorry.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of try hard, I would say, but you can just sit in one channel farm the boss, but you won't get 2K listen. If you want to get the 2K listen, you get a party, you time the bosses, and you just do that for an hour.
Everyone's try harding basically, yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't sound.
So you think Throne and Liberty? First of all, tell me this: how bad do you think the pay to win is in Throne and Liberty, Yasin?
Compared to
just compared to other Korean MMOs, Asian MMOs, not specifically to BNS.
I think it's alright.
It's all right.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
I don't think it's super bad.
Okay, and how would you say BNS Neo compares up to that? Obviously less, but like, can you give us a more specific?
Neo is much better. It's actually so similar to TL, but like a better version of it, a little better version of it. That's how you can. A
little. So it's not like significantly less pay to win than TL, but it's a little.
If I would put it in percentages, I would say it's like 20 to 30%.
20, 30%.
less.
Okay. That's
That's a
good.
good one.
That's good. I wasn't
That's a good
sure if
one.
I was thinking about asking you for a number, but I wasn't. Okay,
That's a
20,
good
30%.
amount.
That's fair. 20
Yeah.
to 30% less pay to win than TNL. I mean, I don't know. Because the whole negative stigma surrounding BNS is it going to die? And I hear people in my chat asking,
Yeah.
Trove boxes, RNG boxes, is that a thing in Neo?
No, we've yet to see anything like Trove. I mean, we are if we're bringing CN into this as well, which is by Tencent, not NCSoft. Even they don't have Trove, and they've got a reputation for being paid to win on China. So I think they're doing it better. They don't. There doesn't seem to be any hard pay to win in
Okay.
Neo so far,
Okay.
but you know,
If you
you
wanna,
never know.
Right. You never
if you
know.
wanna, if you wanna talk about like what will make the game make or break,
Yes.
in my opinion, how the game was in KR, even if we don't get differences, the only problem, to me at least, was content. We most of the players that were playing from the Western community on the Korean server, we all got to pretty high gear. You would almost say max. There was just no content. Most of us quit. I think there's one singular person left of us playing.
Yeah, that's
And
Ayame. Ayame is still
yeah,
playing somehow. I didn't realize
yeah,
he was playing still. He's been playing for like 2 months on his own in the clan. Like he is
yeah.
literally the only one that still plays. All of us have
We,
sort of
yeah,
gone out
there's no
elsewhere.
content. There's no content, even though they have it. It's something that I didn't really understand. Maybe as you have seen, there's they really toned down on the PvP content. Arena doesn't exist. 1v1 doesn't exist. 3v3 doesn't exist. 6v6 battlegrounds is 1 hour a day. And that's PvP content. In PvE content, they're also cutting back on content. I'm not sure why. They should just. I really hope when it comes to the West, they release content faster because it exists, right? It's
Yeah.
from the old game. I really, really hope they do that because that basically broke it. Like there was no content to do. It was not fun.
Right.
You just do dailies, you just do weeklies, but there's no goal.
Yeah, I don't know why they would remove so much PvP. I genuinely don't. However,
PvE as well.
I have heard that they are taking global feedback, especially surrounding the PvP, pretty seriously,
Right.
and they're planning on implementing changes based off of that feedback. I don't know what that means. It could mean anything, right? But that does sound at least a little promising. Well, I shouldn't say promising. Hopeful. Hopeful's a better word. It does sound a little hopeful, but yeah. I guess aside from the PvP content, as you mentioned, that content isn't in the game yet. When it comes to PvE content, though, I mean, even if there is no PvP, there's plenty of people that just prefer PvE. Is
Right.
the PvE content just not good enough in BNS to keep you engaged long term?
It exists, but they don't put it in. I think that's the problem.
Okay, what
So
doesn't? What is it now, and what doesn't exist?
So, for example, level 45 patch when we were still playing, level 50 patch, sorry, there was a Pohorun dungeon. It was basically the major dungeon that you'll be doing, like the biggest one. Other than that, there was not much. You would do a
there's
solo
4
dungeon.
blue dungeons which were pretty
Yeah.
brain dead. Anyone
Yeah,
could do
you
that.
don't do those. It would be a literal waste of dungeon vitality to do it.
Okay.
You would only do the major dungeons for the gold income because they give you 1 gold per run, per daily. That's it, and the rest of the vitality you would spend on field bosses. That's pretty much it. That was the end game content. Even though Blade and Soul has really good raids, honestly, they have really fun raids.
Ill, what are your thoughts, man? Because I'll be honest, you guys are both people that seem to really have a long history with this game, and you genuinely love the game at a core. But I'll be honest, guys, I am not getting excited vibes, hyped vibes from you guys, and that's a little concerning if I'm going to be completely honest. You know what I mean?
I think the main draw from this is that we're sort of jaded. Like,
okay.
I absolutely love Blade and Soul. Like,
Okay.
I have no other game that I've enjoyed as much as Blade and Soul. But it's sort of seeing it mistreated by NCSoft for so long that you no longer get your expectations up. You sort of start thinking like,
sure. You're not.
If I get
Gotcha.
my hopes up,
Can,
am I gonna be disappointed? So,
so just to be clear, can you just spell it out for us one more time? What is it specifically that you are jaded about, and specifically that you feel like NCSoft just fucked up on when it comes to Blade and Soul?
um,
There's so many stuff.
well, it's it's sort of in terms of at least before Ronan, um, the community sort of I guess feels like they're speaking to a brick wall.
Mm,
Like we will yell, quite literally yell at NCSoft non-stop about do this, we need this, we're
mm,
getting bored, blah blah blah. All that, please change this, and then they did nothing.
mm.
And then they're like, "Hey, here's a new RNG box for you to swipe on," or
Jesus.
"Oh, there's
Yeah.
Trove's back. Guys, get excited for Trove." And it's like,
Like
I,
communication was
I
so
can't
bad.
remortgage my house for Trove.
Mm,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
communication was
sounds
really bad.
terrible.
the biggest draw is well, the biggest hang up, I suppose, is NCSoft doesn't communicate and they don't
Mm,
listen. They are under this assumption that they know what we want.
mm,
They know what their community wants more than the community does, which is, it is what it
mm,
is. Unfortunately, it's a great game. Like I cannot
mm,
recommend it enough. But I just wish it wasn't NCSoft.
mm. So what you're saying is we've got a great product, but you don't trust NCSoft to deliver on their end,
Yeah,
based off of their history.
yeah. BNS
Okay,
overall is phenomenal. NCSoft is despicable. I
gotcha.
genuinely hate this company.
So let's just
Yeah.
pretend NCSoft is not NCSoft for a second here. Let's just pretend Neo is not being developed, published by NCSoft, and it's being developed, published by someone else that we don't know. Okay, it's been re-released by an unknown group. Neo has now been out in China for about a year. Let's just go based off of KR, I guess, which has been out for about a third of the year. Would you say, hey, great game so far, I'm liking it, like everything looks good, I'm kind of hopeful? Or is Neo itself, despite NCSoft being behind the wheel, kind of in shambles right now?
I think Neo is actually kind of amazing. It's a good game. It's a really good
It
fight.
is
Okay.
it is really fun when you've got content to do. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying
the
this as
combination.
someone that like purely plays PvP. And
Mm,
I'm getting shafted in terms of Neo because like there is
gotcha.
hardly any PvP,
So because there's
especially
a
in Korea.
Gotcha. So the game is great. Ills, if I may, you're saying that you really like the game. How, like in this example of NCSoft is not in existence here. You really like the game. However, you're just not a big fan of the lack of PvP because that's the content you're
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I think yeah.
If they add the PvP you're looking for, so 1v1 3v3s, if they add that into the game for our version, both of you guys, what would you guys rate this game out of 10, assuming they add those two, they add those game modes in? I mean, and just so you guys know, obviously it's gonna be a bias number. I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but give us your bias number.
But personally, I
Uh,
also enjoy PvE. I'm not a PvP only.
Okay,
I really
great,
enjoy PvE.
great. So let's hear it. What will be the number? Assuming they add this content in, what would you give BNS right now? Consider the monetization and all that stuff too.
do you want to go first, Yuki? Yes.
Sure. I think I would give it a solid maybe 8. If
What
they
would you?
fix PvE content
Okay.
schedule, like content release schedule, it would literally be 10 out of 10. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
The game is so solid.
So it's an
If
8
they
out
just
of
fix the
10
content.
if they add the PvP, and if they fix the PvE on top of it, it's a 10 out of 10 for you.
Yeah. The
Okay.
schedule of the
What
content.
the schedule of the content? Okay, so you mean like if they release the PV content that you know is there, but it's not in Neo yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, what would you rate current Throne in Liberty? Talandry. Not like the boring state right now. Like what like our version, we got Talandry, all that stuff. What would you rate Throne then? Just to have a point of comparison.
I would rate Throne a little lower, I think, because I think Throne is super solid. The
Okay.
base game of Throne is like I don't think there's any MMO that has such a good base. Like I really
Okay.
love the base game of Throne of Liberty, but when I get to endgame, I personally like PvP a lot, right? I don't think the PvP style that Throne is going for is that good,
You don't like
especially
7
also for
billion people versus 21 billion people? What's wrong with you?
I mean, there's some fun to it, but
Okay.
no,
Uh-huh.
no. Yeah, so that's the
Okay.
reason. I think if they have some more diverse PvP and which was a little more detailed in combat, it would be up there. But
Ill, what about you? What would you give it?
I was actually going to say the
Excuse
same
me.
thing as Yuki.
Oh, really?
Yasin. So I was going to give it an 8 out of 10. And
Okay.
like I said, I don't really do PvE, but
Right.
if they added more PvE content, I don't mind doing some.
Yeah.
That would go up to like a 9 or a 10 for me.
Is
I
the
do think.
Gotcha. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna ask you, is the game dead if they don't add 1v1s and 3v3s?
I think it's half that.
Yeah.
Half dead?
I predict to play for about a month of Neo if they don't add Arena. After
Yeah.
that, I'll probably
What do you guys
I'll
what
do
do you
something else.
what do you guys think the game will peak? Concurrent
When?
players. There's no way
Ooh.
for us to know because it's not on Steam, but like if you had to guess, right? Like what would you guys guess?
I would be
The release first day.
I'd be happy if it got like 50 or 100k. I don't
50K
know
for
if
a
that's
launch
good.
is crazy low. That's for a peak launch, that's crazy low.
Yeah,
You-
how much did Throne of Liberty have again?
Throne
I
did
forgot now.
not including console, just on Steam it
Yeah.
did like 325. It would be fair to assume it did somewhere around 450 to 500. Fair to
I'm
assume
gonna
in that
yeah,
range.
I'm gonna guess max 100K.
Max
It could be
100K. I
different.
think 100K
Yeah,
is
this one.
believable.
yeah.
Peak wise, I think 100K is believable. So you think both of you guys think it's going to be for sure a smaller game than Throne?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. If I feel like you've said this on your streams as well, but if NCSoft markets it better, maybe we get up there. Maybe we get it
I
above
know.
100k. But people don't even know about Blade and Soul anymore.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. Like the biggest difference between this game and the previous games like Throne, I feel like for me personally, is that even though Throne was a very niche game, everyone knew it. You know, like
Yeah.
everyone knew about it. Even that, you know, you ask Asmon, hey, you gonna play? Even Asmon checked it out. Like it's like I don't even know. I'll be honest, I don't even know if Asmon knows what the hell BNS Neo is. Let alone, you know, because I have
doubt
people
it.
in my chat that are asking me all the time, what is BNS Neo? What is it? And they either have no idea what it is, or they're like, or they're familiar with BNS and they don't know it's like a relaunch, remastered version of it. I think that's certainly on NCSoft. I mean, we do have about a month until it comes out, but it'll be interesting to see. BNS was never. I feel like I think it was. I think BNS is pretty mainstream. Back in the day when it came out,
It was so mainstream.
Yeah.
Like Stone
yeah.
Open was playing it, like all the big
everyone.
streamers.
There's not a single person that doesn't know what Blade and Soul is. That makes it, I feel like that's proof in the pudding that it was mainstream. So yeah, that's interesting. Well, anyways, is there anything else that we should know when it comes to BNS Neo? Anything else that you'd like to let? Anything else that you would like to tell the people when it comes to this game? What to expect? What to watch out for? Anything?
I think you can expect a good game. It just all depends on content for me. As well as for all the new systems, I think Il is making a new video about it, so make sure to check that out.
Awesome.
I've very much rehashed that. I realized how much changes there are. I'll be there forever.
Really? Wait, when is that video coming out? Because if it comes out soon, I'll probably not be able to link this because this is probably going to be uploaded in the next couple of days.
I was working on it like 2 days ago, but then I
Okay.
got sidetracked. So I don't know when it will come out, if it will come out.
Okay.
But yeah, I realized the scope on that is a bit too.
Okay,
large.
I'm gonna get a quick
There's a
clip
list,
out of. Sorry, go ahead.
There's a list in your Discord that I posted what Il wrote. Il wrote everything in text. He didn't make a video about it, but everything is written in text.
There's like-
I posted it in your Discord in the MMO general channel.
Cool. I'll definitely check it out. Real quick, I'm gonna get a clip out of this. Blade and Soul Neo coming out very soon, less than a month. I'm with 2 seasoned vets. What would you guys say? Zero context. Best PvE class, best PvP class in the game. No context. Go. Yasin.
Assassin.
Assassin.
There you go. I'm an assassin main, boys. I'm an assassin main. All right, perfect. That's gonna
not
be a good
something to
clip.
be
Make that
proud of.
editor when you see this, when you go through this, just cut that and make it a clip. That'll be an easy clip. Yeah, all right. Well, is there anything else, guys? I think that's gonna pretty much wrap things up on my end.
Pretty much it.
Give it
Try
a
it
go.
out.
Give
Yeah, give it a
Neo a
go.
go.
It's worth trying, really.
Don't play Sin. Don't play Summoner. Play a melee class. If you play range class, you're not playing BNS.
All right. Well, there you
Anyway.
go. There you go. All right. Well, thanks, boys. I appreciate your time. This was very
Thank you so
sudden.
much.
This impromptu meeting here. So thank you, guys. I will be sure to
I
link
can
all
go
your
back to
socials. Yes, you can.
No
Thank you. I
problem.
feel bad you woke up for this.
No. I literally just got into bed, so it's all good. No worries.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that, Il. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Definitely check these guys out. You can find their links in the description below. See you guys in the next video.